Hey, welcome. Good day, good night, good evening, whatever you are, wherever you are in the world. I think my guests are all over the map, and so am I. So I don't think any of us are in the same exact time zone. I'm
No,
not sure.
you and me are in the same time
Oh
zone.
yes, now we are.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
now we are. Now we are. But
But
typically,
we're very far apart at the
yes, yes,
most. Yeah,
yes. But only in actual physical distance, not in
yeah.
in
No,
soul.
the
In
love
soul.
the love is close, man.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. The love is in the air for all four of us. So,
Love and spores for everybody.
spread the spores. Let the spores germinate.
Oh
Folks,
man.
this is a very, very special edition of. Well, it's not a Six Elementals. It's really kind of a book Kickstarter kickoff party, and we love to party here on my channel, the John King Saga. And who else would you want to party with but these three people, because they are just a blast. They're brilliant creatives. I'm curious to see how, we have two writers and a blogger. They're all wonderful at their craft. You also have to wonder, like, okay, what brought them together to edit this fungal punk anthology? But we're going to find out because this is the Kickstarter launch for the Book of Spores. And these are the editors. I have the privilege of having the editors here. I'm so honored. I'm so excited. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, which they can do much better than I can. So if it's okay, I will start my just clockwise. Yeah. Okay, I'll start with Adrian.
All right. Well, I'm Adrian M. Gibson. I've actually been on PL's channel before, but I'm the author of Mushroom Blues, which is my debut novel. And I'm glad you said fungal punk. It means a lot to me. Just kind of me jokingly trying to make fungal punk a thing. But I'm also the creator and co-host of SFF Addicts podcast, which I co-host with MJ Kuhn and Greta Kelly. And that's us interviewing authors, doing writing masterclasses and stuff like that. Really, really proud of like how far we've come in the last few years. And then on the side, I do book design. I'm an illustrator, tattoo artist, and kind of not really active on FanFi Addict directly anymore, but SFF Addicts is part of FanFi Addict, and we'll talk more about that blog and how it came to be part of how we got to know each other. But yeah, Eleni.
Hi, I'm Eleni Argyró. I can do it. And I'm a book reviewer for FanFi Addict and for Before We Go blog. I started from Before We Go, and then I sort of was also very generously added onto the FanFi team a while ago now. So I think we're part of the OG team from a while now, which is very nice. And I saw
at least like 4 years, I think. Yeah.
And I got to see this community grow into what it became, the team grow into what it became. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
And I'm Frasier Armitage, part-time robot, full-time nerd, author of books like what Adrian and Eleni have got. I don't have any of them myself to show off because I'm terrible at marketing and I don't have any copies. But yeah, I write books. I also do interviews for the FanFi Addict YouTube channel, so you may have seen me on there. And I'm the host of Spotlight Indie, and it's all good. In terms of my involvement with FanFi Addict, I've been reviewing for FanFi Addict for ages. I've done the interviews. I have spent a lot of time in group chats with Adrian and Eleni, and I know all of their secrets. So if you have any questions for Adrian and Eleni that you want answering, like honestly, just type them and I'll tell you what the real like goss is. So
are you like a FanFi Addicts gossip bot? Is that what you are now? Tell me the dirt, dude.
Yeah, spill the beans, spill the beans, spill the beans. I'm just going to quickly throw up here was someone in the chat joining in.
Hi,
It is Will Swartzman. Hey, thanks so much for coming out and supporting the Book of Spores editors and the Kickstarter launch party. Great to see you, Will.
Will actually has a story in the anthology.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, congratulations. I can't wait to get to that, Will. Can't wait to read your work and, of course, the work of all the other fabulous authors who've taken part in this anthology. Before we came on stage, I was just mentioning that you all are very humble. You're all fabulous creatives with amazing reputations in this space.
Keep going, Pio.
Well, it's the truth.
Tell me more.
It is true. The truth. But I'm just wondering, with everything you have going on in your corners of, you know, the literary bookish world. How did you all come together? I mean, so other than what, and I don't want to pick on him, but Adrian here, obviously, Adrian is probably, I dub him the king of fungal punk. So, you know, he's very modest guy, as you know, you all are very modest. But of course, his Mushroom Blues was an self-published fantasy blog off finalist, and it's pretty genre breaking. I feel, you know, in terms of, I haven't read it yet. He was generous enough to send me an arc. I do apologize. I'm getting to 2026. It's one of my priority reads. I got to get to it. But all the reviews are amazing. So I can make the connection there. But how did you all come together to do this anthology? How did the idea come about? How did this happen? So maybe I can hear from Eleni first, and maybe you can tell me how you got involved in this, and what was the genesis of your becoming an editor?
So the main word here is shenanigans, because that's what the general group chat of FanFi is like, just shenanigans everywhere. And we have a lot of running jokes in the chat. We've had them for ages. And then the idea of bringing all of us creators together, and because a lot of us are authors, and a lot of us, every single one of us writes a lot and loves books and everything book related. So we've been playing with the idea of an anthology for ages now. And then one day, one of us was like, you know what, let's put it to a vote. We have a lot of running jokes and themes. Let's find one.
MPL, you will be surprised to know that it was not me who ushered in the idea of doing mushrooms as a
what?
theme. I through osmosis warped the brains of everyone else at Fanful Addict, where they suggested it on their own.
Subliminal messages. You planted subliminal messages.
Yeah.
Adrian planted his mycelial roots, and we all just like got on board. But it was
don't make it too sexual though. This is very much like a platonic thing. But...
oh yeah. For on the record, it's platonic. In terms of
go check with chatbot Frasier for other dirt you want to know.
No, in terms of what Eleni was saying about the shenanigans, like we've been really lucky to have seen Adrian's journey with Mushroom Blues from behind the scenes, because sharing like his process with us in the group chat for ages. So even before Mushroom Blues came out, we were all really excited about what he was doing. We knew a lot about the kind of story he was writing, and so a bunch of us were, you know, when the question got posed, if we do an anthology, what do we want to do it about? A bunch of us were like, well, let's support Adrian and let's do it about mushrooms. But you can't just do like an anthology on mushrooms. So it then became a case of, well, how do we develop this into something that will work as an anthology? So then everybody was like, Frasier, you go think up something. So I thought up something, and then we came up with the Book of Sports. Basically.
This very broad outline of like, think up something, and you're like, cool, that's well defined. Let me figure this out.
that's really narrow, and you know.
But you glossed over what the other options were that lost out to mushrooms, and this has to do with the in jokes. One of them was cannibalism, and another one was feet. So.
So I just hold that thought. So the amazing Tom is in the chat, and when he put this up, he said, "Bring back feet repeat." I'm like,
okay, I'll give like quick context. It'll be like 30 seconds. So part of Fanfi Addicts, I mean, this has kind of changed just because X has kind of, you know, turned into a dumpster fire. But we had the main group chat, and then we also had, or we still have. It's basically just like a promo group thread. And what we would do is we would repeatedly change the theme. You'd have to give a GIF as offering for your thing that you want promoted. So it could be like, right now it's like circulating cephalopods. So you have to offer up a GIF about some kind of cephalopod. Yeah. So one of them early on was feet repeat. So basically you would post something, be like, hey, I'm doing like, I'm doing a sale on Mushroom Blues ebook. Can you help me out? And then I would have to post like a foot GIF as sacrifice to the.
Without the GIF,
there have been dark days at FanFi.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you know, FanFi was so fetishy. You know, I had no idea. Like, Hey,
good
it's all
now.
good to eat. Hey,
Again,
I'm not
behind the
judging.
scenes, man.
I'm not judging.
Within the
Look
first
at it.
5 minutes, we've had Adrian planting his mycelial roots. Honestly, like it is as fetishy as it gets. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like
I've
I
learned
did
so
some
much.
PR damage.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But that said, and Tom says, Book of Spores was a fantastic project to be part of. Rich, Adrian, and Lenny have been great to work with on it. So
Thank you, Tom.
I just want to confirm. So going back to we'll go back to Lenny. Lenny, are you actually a contributor? Did you write a story for the anthology?
So I was initially going to write a story because I've always wanted to write something and I've always been tinkering in the back, but never had like a fixed or a full rounded plot that I ever wanted to write. So this was a nice opportunity for me to actually try and write something. And when we were throwing around ideas of how to, well, we left it with Frasier to figure out a way to bring like what to make to have in common for all these stories. But then once he came up with the idea of the book, we said, okay, but how do we make it make sense? How does it have how bring some cohesion into this and connect them all in a way that doesn't make people have to write something very specific other than just having a token image of this book. So being the Italian school creature that I am, I thought of the Decameron, and it's a very old book by Boccaccio. And it's essentially one of the first examples of a frame narrative. So I went from there and I said, okay, this is a solid idea. We can create a frame narrative that makes sense for everything and that gives context for all these stories. And then they can be as different, as diverse as whatever wild thing our authors wanted to create. And it would still make sense. So
Yeah.
I ended up creating this archivist figure, and she has a prologue, an interlude, and an epilogue, and she sort of brings everything together.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, since it is a multi-genre anthology, so there's science fiction, there's fantasy, there's horror, it can often feel a bit disjointed when there's not that cohesion, like Eleni was saying. And so having that frame narrative, I also kind of liken it to one of my favorite short story collections of all time by Ray Bradbury, called The Illustrated Man. And that one has a really, really cool frame story where it's like all the stories are essentially linked to this tattooed, like this, top to bottom tattooed person who works at a circus freak show kind of thing. And each story is a story about one of the tattoos on his body. And so in the case of the Book of Spores, there is this archivist who is searching for clues about this Book of Spores, which is essentially like a magical sentient book that goes to different universes within the multiverse and infects them. And so each of the stories by the different authors in the anthology are essentially worlds in which the Book of Spores appears in some form or another and is infecting that particular world. And so it doesn't matter if it's fantasy or if it's sci-fi or if it's horror. The Book of Spores and the archivist's investigation of this book, her research and trying to find more information about it, gives context for the progression of stories and how they're all interlinked.
Yeah. And the reason why that's set up in that way is because I'd worked on a few different projects with different ones and had a blast on them. One of the projects that I'd worked on, we worked in a shared world, and trying to create like the world Bible for that. It's over 10,000 words long. Like, it's a lot of work, and trying to get everybody to share a world would have been way too much with the number of authors that wanted to contribute towards it. So instead, we were like, well, let's just share an item, because what happens with that is it means that every author then has the freedom to write whatever story they wanted. Because when we were putting it together, it was a case of, we want everyone to have fun, right? So we want people to write what they want to write. But if all of the stories include this one item as a point of cohesion, then it means that that's not a big ask to say, well, could you write a story with this one item in it? So for some of the stories, the book is a really massive part of it. For some of it, it's like I mentioned, but it's all adding to a greater mystery, which Eleni has been sort of splicing together to be able to tie all of these things up. So it's a great, it was a great way of being able to have people write. So when you're reading like a story from a particular author, it's very much their type of story. It's not, that they've tried to adjust to what we've put together. It's a case of we've made it in such a way that you're getting the best of these authors because they're writing what they want to write, and we've just found a really cool way of tying it all together.
And I absolutely love that. Some of my favorite anthologies have been the ones where there is a central theme. However, all the authors write their story, as Adrian alluded to, irrespective of the subgenre, whether it's horror, whether it's fantasy, whether it's sci-fi, but there's this common thread that ties it all together. I think so far the best one I've read of that is Skybreaker. I think that's who's in that, H.L. Tinsley, Jay Hannaford, a bunch of great. That's one of my favorites because again, there's this commonality between all the stories. Be it the stories are also distinct and unique, and I absolutely love it. So that is just getting me more excited for the book Spores. Now I'm getting the vibe here that, and obviously you're all friends, you're all close. There's that love for each other. The thing is, everybody has their own talents, everybody has their own strengths, and even if you love the people you're working with, doing a collab, it has its positives and its drawbacks, right? But the one thing that I'm sensing from listening to you all is that you really dialed into each other's strengths to put this together. And I may be totally wrong, but Eleni seems like she seems like the engine. She's making this damn thing go. She's getting it done. Adrian may be out there advertising and doing his Adrian thing and being really gregarious and getting people, and Frasier is like an ideas guy, and Elena seems like she's the one that she's pounding there and she's putting all the practical stuff going on. But you tell me,
you're making her blush, dude.
No, me too.
Her cheeks are matching her headphones.
That was on purpose.
There you go.
But you all tell me, can you tell me each a bit about your roles or what you saw your roles were in putting this together?
Well, I can start by saying Frasier is actually a very important cornerstone of this because he was the one that gathered all of the stories together, and he was after every author to make sure that they would bring him everything, and he's the one responsible for all dev edits, so he got all the first drafts, he worked everything. Why am I talking for you, Frasier?
Go for it, Frasier. Go for it.
Come on.
Well, Frasier, you tell us what Eleni did.
Lenny. Keep going.
Well, you can tell us what Eleni did.
Yeah. Are we just gonna butter each other up? And
Yeah.
That works because see, Frasier's British, so he cannot compliment himself.
That's true.
Himself.
Yeah.
I'm too shy, and well, you're a social butterfly, so I don't care. You can do your thing.
Yeah, so basically, in May 2024, I got sent all of the details as to the suggestions people had wanted to build the anthology about. So by the end of May 2024, we'd put together a real short sort of thing of, okay, this is what we want, your stories to include. This is the thing that it's going to be. It's the Book of Spores, and Eleni was like, I hate that title. But now she's come around. We talked around to it. But in terms of so my involvement, I kind of took that, gathered all of the authors, worked with them on their stories in that initial draft. And then once we had sort of a blueprint of right, okay, I think we've kind of got this sorted. It was then a case of I know I can't do this on my own. So who do I bring in? And so I was like, Eleni and Adrian, because these guys are amazing. And like you say, PL, their strengths. Eleni has this meticulous eye for detail and is able to look at things from a completely outside lens from what I would at things at. So when she's going through the stories and everything, she's picking points out that I wouldn't be able to come to by myself. So from that side of things, Eleni's really helping to sort of infuse the anthology with that cohesion that we talked about, and from basically Adrian is kind of we were like, are we going to do this? And we were like, yeah, let's do it. And Adrian basically has made it happen, because if Adrian wasn't here doing this, we would probably not be bringing this book out until 2035. It's Adrian's just kind of had put his magic into this, and so a lot of the things that are beautiful about this book, when you if we get it funded and you get to hold it in your hand and you think, wow, this book is amazing, that's pretty much Adrian's fault. It's he's done so much work on making the book art and it's just, yeah. So between us all, we have like this really. You're kind of right, PL. Like it's like ideas, and then Eleni for like the like fastidiousness, and then like Adrian for just like the magic. That's basically what it's been.
I feel like
So-
Adrian he's a bit like a duck. Like
I've never been called a duck before. Elaborate.
on the
I love
surface,
it.
very chill. He takes everything in, he listens to what you have to say and whatever the ideas that you come up with, aside from coming up with a bunch of his own. And then he sort of disappears for a while. But beneath the surface, those feet are going so fast, and then he comes back with so much to give us. Like,
I love
he's
it.
like, so here's like 5,000 graphics, gorgeously made. Oh, and by the way, I did this the other day because I was bored, or I had a minute from the kids. I was like, oh, okay then. And all we were doing at some point, Frasier and me, were just like, Adrian comes to us like, do you like this? Do you want me to change anything? And we're both like, nope, this looks great, and this looks great, and this looks great. Okay, fine, you have a typo there, but this looks great. Like,
So like without Adrian, we wouldn't have like the cover, we wouldn't have like the just anything about all of the stuff that people have like seen about this book. It's all thanks to the stuff that he's arranged and he's set up and his visions, and like, so yeah, what's really nice about it is collaborating. It is a collaborative process. It's not any of our babies, it's all of our babies, and I really love that.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of something that we're going into the Kickstarter with too, is this is like a group project. An anthology is inherently a group project, but this is very much like, here are a bunch of people who are really passionate about what they do, and we are just kind of gathering our passions and skills together to give people something really cool. And you know, like Frasier and Eleni say, thank you first of all, and Eleni, that was the best analogy anyone's ever made about me, so I appreciate you. I'll just go around and be like, I'm a duck, and then my sons will be really on board for that because they won't understand the actual complexity of it. But yeah, I mean, we just kind of got to these points where it was like, okay, we need to really think about cover art, and I was like, okay, put that in my hands, put together a cover brief, reached out to a couple different authors, ended up landing on Jeff, because Jeff Brown, who's a friend of mine, and spent a lot of time with recently in the UK. So I ended up sending him this cover brief, talking about the idea and everything like that, and he was like, got it. And then he starts sending me sketches, and I was like, dude, you are so tuned into this. Like when the Kickstarter launches this Thursday on the 13th, there's a section on the art and the design and everything, and I was putting together like, here's the process from literally like the sketch that I sent Jeff to his first draft, to his revision, to his final piece. And it was so quick, and it got to a point where I was just like, you understand everything about this, and so I'm going to let you have free reign. And so he even threw in like Easter eggs about Fanfi Addict and about like our group chats and stuff like that into the cover itself. And he was just like, he was locked in, and it was beautiful. And then, you know, we started playing around with like typography and stuff like that and designed it together. And then basically last month, like Frasier and I just had a conversation, was like, yeah, so how should we do this Kickstarter? And then that kind of very, very quickly spiraled. It was like an afternoon basically of us just being like, well, you know, we have some friends who've done stuff with Merrick Books. And so we reached out to Merrick Books, and they got back to us very quickly. We ended up having a call that was on like a Friday. We had a call on a Monday, and basically talked to everyone, talked to the head of Merrick Books, Andrew Cobble, and I just asked him straight up. I was like, here's all the stuff. Basically, I knew I had the meeting coming, so I was like, I put together like like all the graphics for a Kickstarter in a weekend, and just showed him this. And I was like, so when is it realistic for us to launch? And he was like, we could do it as early as next month. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. And basically from there, it was like, all right, balls to the walls. Let's put together a cover reveal, book tour, a Kickstarter, all of that within like, I mean, the book tour and the cover reveal were basically just like within, it was like a week. And then it was like, okay, and now the cover reveal's out, and this is like blowing up, and like we're super, super happy with this, and everything has just happened so fast. So this was literally like, you know, put together within the last I don't know, like 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a
So-
testament to how awesome. That's a testament to how awesome all of you are, and a testament to when great minds, collaborate. And
my obsessiveness, like
Well, it's
channeling
like you
that.
said, if there were any downsides, there are none, because like we bring everything together, and we work so well together. So it works.
And as well, I want to shout out to all of the contributing authors as well,
Yeah.
because they
Absolutely.
have been so great to work with as well. Like, it's in terms of we wanted it to be fun for people.
Mhm.
So we didn't set like hard deadlines. We were just like, well, we're aiming for this. Some authors weren't able to do that, and they got in touch, and we just worked with them. And we
Yeah.
were some of the writers have been working on their story for like over a year before they finished their first draft, and that's okay. That's all right. There are some authors who hadn't finished their draft by the time that Adrian was putting together the Kickstarter. So it was like, but they've been conscious of it, and they've been working with us, and it's been such a collaborative thing that even I think everyone was excited by the concept, and they wanted to be involved, and
Yeah.
we've worked hard to make sure everybody who wanted to be involved is involved. So if there's not been even like that one person who's turned around and been awkward about it, everyone's just really gone with the process. And when you're working with your friends, and when you're working with people like that, it just makes the whole thing so much more fun. So I think everybody hopefully has had a good time putting it together, and that will reflect in the book, because as I've read the stories back, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys actually, they've not just like written a token story. These guys have actually written something they really love, and it's like you can feel that in the stories.
Yeah. And can I quickly shout out everyone who's in the anthology?
that was you read my mind. You read my
All
mind,
the
my friend.
trust
Dude, we are interviewers at heart, my friend. Okay, so Eleni, Frasier, and I doing the editing. Also, Ed Crocker. I call him our editor extraordinaire, because he's doing like line edits and that kind of the more like technical side of things, right? But then we got MJ Kuhn, we've got Greta Kelly, Crystal Matar, Connor M. Kaplan, Caden Love, Emma L. Adams, AJ Calvin, Adam Bassett, DB Rook, Tom Bookbeard, Ryan Kirk, Harry Chilcott, Victoria Gross, Will Swardstrom, CJ Daly, and then Eleni's doing the frame story. Frasier's got a story in there as well. One of our stretch goals is going to be an inclusion of one of my short stories, and then we got Jeff. And then I've got an introduction that I'm doing, and then we got Jeff doing the cover art, and then I'm doing like the entire interior design of the book as well. So yeah, it's very much it's
which is a lot of surprises and treats in it.
All-star, next level lineup, all-stars, all-stars. Every name that you mentioned on that list are absolutely fabulous. By reputation, certainly, even if I haven't read their work, and some of them I have, and just as people, just absolutely phenomenal and dynamic, and like, wow, what an all-star team you folks.
They have been
put
such
together.
stars. Receiving very random hour DMs from me, because I'm in Italy, so my time zone is very different to everyone else, and me poking them like, hey, by the way, I need this, or by the way, could you check that? And just all of them stars.
Wow.
What was happening with the Fanfare blog is that, I mean, because I wasn't there at the start of it, but I was there sort of fairly early on, and then you sort of see it grow. And early on, we had great creatives, and we were always like throwing about the idea of, should we do an anthology? Should we do an anthology? The blog eventually grew to the point whereby we couldn't not, right? Because when you've got people like that contribute to it, like, how can you not want to do something with them? And it was like, so, when it all came about, and it all got decided we were going to go for it, like, I was so happy, because it was just like, yes, we finally get to work with all these amazing people. Like, we get to tell story instead of just sort of sitting back and absorbing the stories of people who we love. We get to actually like have a share in telling them ourselves. So yeah,
we're telling stories in the group chat all the time anyway, so we figured we might as well share them with the world, the less weird ones.
Yeah,
and even that bar is very.
But it's also a really good opportunity for us to, I mean, because I've wanted to do an anthology for a really long time, and so it's kind of like a good experiment for us to do Kickstarter, to do crowdfunding. Not necessarily like, oh, Fanfiadict's going to become like an indie publisher or anything like that, but it's like,
you never know.
I mean, it's one of those like, it's one of those things where it's like, you never know, straight up. But there are so many amazing people involved in the blog that it's kind of a no-brainer to be like, okay, if we put our minds together, these are the kinds of things that we can accomplish. I froze for a second.
Oh, it's okay. You're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, cool. I just put on like a little sexy eyebrow lift. It's too good of an opportunity to pass up when there are so many incredibly talented people around you. It's kind of like, okay, well, how about, I mean, everyone's doing their own thing, of course, but we'd be remiss to actually go forward with a collaboration where we're all able to kind of utilize our skills in so many different ways. And yeah, it was kind of like a crazy confluence of events. You know what I mean? It's like Greta joining SFF Addicts, other people kind of joining Fanfi Addict along the way. Back in August, I went like really hard and decided to start doing like full freelance book design stuff. And so I was like, okay, if we need a book designer, like I'll do all that. Like, like Jeff is an amazing artist and we've seen the work that he's done for like Broken Binding and so many other different publishers. And so it's kind of like, okay. Yeah. And so for me, it was like, I love Jeff's work and especially his covers for the 3 Body Problem and its sequels. I was like, that's like the kind of trippy that I want for this cover. You know what I mean? So it's really nice to be able to bring together all of these people for this experiment. And it's like, we don't know how it's going to go, but we're really optimistic just based on the reception so far and the people who've been willing to help us out. And down the line, who knows what else we'll start collaborating on again,
Well, I'd say it was funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
As people sort of like were coming in and joining, obviously knowing that this was going ahead, like we were just, their initiation into the group chat was basically 3 questions. It was like, is eating a mermaid cannibalism? We need to know your take on that. How do you feel about feet? And would you like to be a part of a Thungelpunk anthology? And that was basically like every new person was like, where am I and what have I signed up for? It was like, but we had to catch them up with the running jokes, right? So,
and I mean, if they stuck around, it's like that says something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, good, you're just as weird as the rest of us.
We'll get along fine.
That is amazing. That's amazing. Well, as we turn into the third quarter of this, I do want to get into the book itself and what it's about, and kind of say the last quarter for the Kickstarter and goals and things like that, so you guys can get the word out there about exactly what people can get if they back this anthology and really get involved with what sounds like incredible projects. So so the book. You talked a bit about the central theme. You talked a bit about the kind of stories that are there. So just without spoilers, I know you can't give anything away. What are some of the stories that we can expect? Give us a little teasing here or there. Some of the, you don't have to go through all of them, but just give us a little tease about what we can kind of expect from some of these stories. Just pick your random, maybe some of your faves out of the. I know they're all your faves probably, but give us a little tease about what this is, we might expect to see for the book of Spores.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about what it was like to receive the stories for the first time. And that is that I was so impressed that all of the stories are so individual and so unique to one another that there's like, let's say, take for example, CM Kaplan. Let's take Connor, right? When you read a CM
anyone who's read Connor,
right?
Yeah,
you know that you're about to read something that can only come from Connor, right? It's like it's that kind of like beautiful, crazy weird. It's like where you're half worried about him, but you're also applauding him for his genius, right? Reading his short story, I was like, he just CM Kaplan this for us. It's like it is. You can't even begin to describe what's in that story. It is just absolutely just off the wall.
Yes.
But it's like that for every author, right? You get their story and you read it for the first time and you're like, what's this going to be about? Is it going to be too much like somebody else's? Is it going to be too much like what? Because we didn't give them like you have to make the story like this. We gave them freedom, and to see everybody's creativity in their stories. Like there's some who really lent into the horror, there's some who really lent into the sci-fi, really lent into the fantasy. Like there's folkloric, like witchcraft. There's like, it's just like it's just got everything, right? Like, and that's what I love about these stories is that it doesn't matter where you fall on the SFF spectrum, you're gonna find one in there that speaks to you because we've done the anthology like that. So yeah, I'm not going to give like a favorite story. All I'm going to say is that you will have one.
Mm-hmm. And the cool thing is, like, each of the authors that are contributing stories, it's like we're going a little step further in terms of, okay, once you get to the end of that story, you'll get recommendations from that author about like another story that kind of feels similar to the one that they wrote or inspired the one that they wrote. And then, you know, I'm a sucker for Spotify playlists, so it's like each of the authors recommends a song, and basically the whole playlist is just like in order, like this song for this story, and kind of just everyone gets to basically evoke a little bit more about the inspiration and the sort of multimedia creativity that went into the creation of their story. So it's not just like, okay, you read that story, done. If you really enjoy it, there are some ways in which you can further that experience and your enjoyment of that particular story.
Wow.
And you have so many like topics and themes within the stories. Like they're not just surface level stories that we were given as wacky or as serious as you can get, but we have like many ongoing themes: consent, female rage, everything. It's just, it goes from camp to horror, from The Witch to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like there's so much for, like they said, there's something for everyone, and we get vibes from everyone. And yet we find, like, my job was to make them sort of fit together in a very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
And we all talked about the order that they would have to go in so that they make more sense, or they, like, you don't have all of the fantasy piled together. You don't have, and yet
taking length and stuff into account as well, and for pacing.
Yeah. And yet, even the way that we mix all the genres together, that we have this like huge palimpsest of stories, it works. It's not. It's never just. Yeah, we still want more.
We gave them like total freedom over even like word count, because I was just terrible. I was like,
I mean, Crystal abused it, but like,
yeah. We were like,
well, look at her books; they're like this.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So I was just like,
longer story.
Crystal's is like, it's you know, it's getting into novelette territory.
That's it, right? For some of the stories,
we love her for it. We love her for it.
We love you, Crystal. Yeah.
For others, it's like flash fiction, right? It's like you've got this beautiful expanse of, even within the stories, of variety. But my like, I'll tell you a little bit about my story, which is about a sentient forest, and it is trying to rescue mushroom hostages. So that is basically So I've gone like weird, but there's stories that happen on other planets that exist within a universe that an author already has. There's other stories that are completely separate to things that they've written before, but they have their vibe. It's like, I mean, you've got like trickster gods, you've got like, you know, you've got like epic battles, you've got like
warriors.
Yeah, you've got like some really, really gruesome, nasty beasties. You've got like battle arenas, and you've got like stories that feel like anime and Weird West. And it is like, honestly, like, this book, it goes so many different places, and yet what's amazing is that we found this way of making them all feel like they belong together. You know, because the thing is, with multiverse books, like, when you're trying to go to different worlds, you need those worlds to feel unique. And so, you know, having this idea of this single entity that is going throughout the multiverse, that this archivist is trying to track its journey, you know, it's like that just gives you like this whole way of being able to allow for all that freedom in the stories. So yeah, basically, if we were also conscious of the fact, when we put this together, would people who subscribe to the Fanfi Addict blog and like the kind of things that we do on it, would they enjoy the anthology? And I'm 100% confident that like pretty much anybody who's like subscribed to Fanfi Addict is going to look at this and go like, yeah, these guys exceeded what I expected from them.
Also, can I just
and then go for it, Eleni.
Parenthesis, like you said about Connor, if you read his story, you're like, yes, this is Connor. The same goes for Frasier. And like, if you've read his Cage of Stars, which, by the way, really good.
Beautiful.
It's because it's the closest vibes-wise that I can think to his latest story. And it really is like, it's a Frasier Armitage story. It's wacky and unexpected in the ways that you would expect from Frasier. So,
Thanks, Eleni.
Yeah.
So Adrian,
It's
you
just
were saying.
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like it's really nice for us to be able to play around with like the connective tissue of these stories, and then also like the role of the archivist. You know, there's going to be some like design stuff that we're going to do inside the anthology that kind of the archivist is actively interacting with each of the stories as she's going along. And so it's not just like, okay, there's the prologue, there's the interlude, there's the epilogue. It's like you see the notes and the interactions and reactions that the archivist is having as she's investigating and tracking down this sentient book in the midst of the stories and all that kind of stuff, you know. And like, yeah, like the story that like mine is going to be a stretch goal, but that one is like part of the fungal verse, and it's basically like a folk tale set like thousands and thousands of years before Mushroom Blues takes place. And so there's a religion that I created for the fungal people, and she's kind of ties into the origins of that religion, and she's kind of like a prophet figure. And so it's like, it's basically her tale, and it's a tale that like a fungal mother would tell to their child, sort of thing. And so it's like, those are the kinds of things that we get to play around with, just because it's not restrictive in terms of genre, and it's not restrictive in terms of theme. There's different ways that people have taken this, like, okay, there's a sentient book that's infecting this particular universe. In the case of my universe, it's like, who knows, maybe it's not necessarily from the perspective of the fungal people infecting that universe, right? And so different people might have different reactions to the presence of this book and what it's doing to their world, right?
Sign me, like, this sounds
yeah, well, this is the like... thing though, right? Adrian's is the only story I haven't read because it's a stretch goal, and it's not, and so it's like I'm desperate for us to reach that stretch goal because I need to read the story, right? It's like,
get us those end papers, get us get us all that stuff, yeah.
But yeah, we've got like stories within it, and we wanted to give like as well, we wanted to give that feeling to the reader that this is that this is like from beginning to end, that every single part of this has like a payoff for the reader. Yeah. We don't want them to go on this journey and just feel like this is just a story that's been thrown in. Like every single story means something. So it's, you know, and I think that's the best gift that we can give to the contributors as well, because every contribution is important to the whole book that we've put together.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, building on that, Frasier, it's like, it's not just important to the reader's experience, but it's also important to a lot of the authors too, because there are some authors that are debuting in this anthology. And so it's like giving them an opportunity to, I mean, Eleni's one of them, so giving them giving them an opportunity to showcase their work, essentially, but do it in an environment where it's like, okay, we're all family and we're doing this together, and you don't necessarily need to feel the pressure of putting your story out on sub or doing things like that. And it's like, you know, we're doing our due diligence and we're working with the authors and dev edits and all this kind of stuff, and giving them critical feedback and whatnot, and kind of like helping them along their journey. But it's like, yeah, one step forward for a lot of these authors to kind of start getting their work out there and realizing their dreams, and, you know, basically putting their stories in front of readers who might read it and be like, okay, where's do you have more work? Like, what are you publishing next, and all that kind of stuff. And then hopefully that kind of bolsters their confidence going forward.
Eleni, sorry, you were going to add something, Eleni? Was it
no, it's just that we're playing on people's curiosity as well, because that way we're giving something so everyone can like get into the stories, but then they have that little niggling thing of, yeah, but I want to know what all that is about as well. So I need to go and check. So
one of the things as well when we were putting it together was we didn't tell people that this what the framework was going to be like. So we just gave them this prompt of the Book of Spores, a little bit of background as to what the Book of Spores was. It was like a paragraph or something, and we were like, this is just run with this. We've kind of, what's been really nice, and what will be really nice for all of the authors as well contributing, is that they will see, hopefully they will see not just their contribution, but they'll get maybe some surprises as well as they read it back. So I'm really excited from the author's point of view as well.
They've given us so much trust, and it means a lot to me. It means a lot to all of us. So we want to do the best that we can for them, and like, they gave us the little babies, and we're trying to.
That's what's That's going to be the downside you were talking about earlier, PL, because they're going to read it back and they're going to go, "What did you do to my story?" And we're going to be like, "Surprise!"
Hello.
But it kind of, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Kickstarter and the packaging of the anthology and the things that we're doing in that sense is like all of that is meant to, I mean, yeah, obviously we want to create a really cool product for readers to buy and enjoy, but at the same time we want those authors to get their copies and be like, holy shit, this is amazing, and I'm so proud to be a part of this, and I never could have imagined that it would have like taken shape like this, right?
I'm absolutely confident that that's how they're going to feel. Absolutely confident that they're gonna feel. So I do want to get into the last segment here. Give you three of you a chance to lay it all out about the Kickstarter dates, times, places, stretch goals, anything you want to say about the Kickstarter. So have at it, folks, so that we get the word out so people understand what they can get if they sign on to what sounds like an absolutely astounding anthology, and if they back it.
Yeah. Well, dude, first of all, thank you again for having us on, man. I appreciate you. And yeah, the Kickstarter goes live on Thursday, November 13th, and then it's running until December 4th. So basically you have 3 weeks to back this project. So we're working with Merrick Books to basically bring it to life, and they're going to be handling shipping, fulfillment, production. We're collaborating with them on the production and everything like that. And then in terms of design and stuff like that, I'm basically doing all of it. So I've gone probably more all out than I've ever done with a book before with this one. So not only is like the cover that Jeff created just like unbelievably cool, that's just the dust jacket, right? And so it's like underneath that there's like a full hardcover case, and that's got its own custom design with like mycelium creeping across it. There's sprayed edges with mycelium creeping across it as well. Like I created this logo that's basically kind of like the logo for the anthology, and it's like a book with mushrooms growing out of it and this like evil looking eye. And so that'll be stamped onto the hardcover case as well. And then that will appear throughout the book in terms of like, you know, a lot of like really cool visual details and stuff that I really enjoy. So it's like, if it's a fantasy story, there's kind of like a symbol for specifically fantasy stories. If it's leaning more sci-fi or more horror, then they all have kind of like associated symbols that can visually express to you like you're in for a horror story now, or you're in for a fantasy story, or you're in for a sci-fi story. And then even like chapter headers and stuff, it's basically at the beginning there's like mycelium creeping down, and then as the anthology progresses, every chapter header has more and more mycelium spreading down across the pages until the end, when it's Eleni's epilogue. It's basically like the mycelium is like
this is freaking wild. Like, this is wild.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like any of the stories, but you won't because you love them all.
It's a piece of art, man. It's a piece of art. Straight up. So it's like I've gone all out with the design for this, and when everyone sees the Kickstarter on Thursday, they'll see it's like, you know, we're just a base edition. You know, it's got the dust jacket. It's got like a sort of black pebble texture hardcover case with the mycelium and with the stamp on it. It's got the sprayed edges and everything like that. It's got the really cool interior design, but then we're starting to push towards stretch goals. Like if we meet our funding, we're hoping for 10K. After we pass that, it's like I created these like end paper patterns to kind of like go along with like the vibe of it. They look really, really cool on their own, but if we hit our first stretch goal, it's like we want to get art from an amazing Mexican artist named Patricia Gutierrez, who's done some incredible covers for like the Broken Binding and other publishers. So we want to get her to basically do this like long, extra wide piece that will basically be the front end paper is the left side, and then it continues, and the back end paper is the right side. And so it's this like one cohesive sort of like end paper design. You know, we want to upgrade the hardcover case to faux leather. We tried to get mushroom leather, which is actually a thing. If anyone's read my book and thinks that mushroom leather is not real, it's definitely real.
We really wanted to.
But it's like crazy expensive. So I was really bummed out by that. So we're gonna go with faux leather instead. You can just imagine.
Well, it's like
mushroom leather.
Faux mushroom leather.
Yeah, right. But you know, we're gonna like upgrade to that. We're gonna get silver foiling on like the case and the dust jacket. Get like embossed kind of details on the dust jacket as well. Get like an extra interior art piece from Jeff Brown. But on top of that, it's like with every few stretch goals that we pass, like we want to increase the payments that the authors are getting. And so basically it's like they've agreed to this flat rate that we paid them all for their stories, and we compensated all of them. And basically what we want to do is like, with certain stretch goals, we want to say like, okay, you're contributing 30% more to the author payouts. And by the end of it, it's like, if we get all of our stretch goals, you're literally giving 90% more profit to the authors themselves. And so it's like, we want the authors to also earn more from this Kickstarter and their contributions to this anthology. So yeah, just like top to bottom, man, we're really, really excited about like what we've done for this Kickstarter. And like the rewards package, you're going to get the book, obviously, that's kind of a given, but it's going to be a really, really beautiful cover, really, really beautiful interior, all the extra trappings and whatnot that you want with a beautiful special edition. But at the same time, it's like you can get an ebook, like the ebook digital edition, if you're interested in the anthology but you don't necessarily want to pay too much. You can just get the swag. Basically, like I've basically designed like tote bag, notebook, enamel pin, bookmarks, digital art packages, all this different kind of extras, so that if you don't want to get the book and you just want to get the swag package, you can get that. If you get the hardcover, you can add on all these options and get like the paperback edition or an enamel pin or a tote bag or whatever else. Or you can just like, go all out with the everything package that just has like literally every single thing that I've created. So
like,
yeah.
But the way that it's kind of worked is that as we've got together and we've been talking about rewards and stuff, generally this is the way the conversation goes. I'll be like, what about this insane, crazy thing? And then Eleni will be like, what about if we did it like that? And then Adrian will be like, yeah, I can do that. And then a week later it's done. Like, that's basically it means that like every idea we've had, even from the point of view of like the way that the hardcover is almost like part of the story, the way that like the design of the logo is kind of like going to be reflected through different portions of the book, even things like this, it's all come from this collaborative working together, and just all of our, like you said at the start, all of our strengths going into this. So when you look at the Kickstarter, what you'll see that this is work that is like paid off, but it's like none of us could really do this on our own. This is kind of like, yeah, it's such a beautiful thing for us to see it come together, because we're like, when you see it on the 13th, you'll be scrolling down the page, you'll be like, this looks awesome. But like it's awesome because it's like more than the sum of our parts, if you know what I mean. So so if you can get the everything package, like, you are not going to be disappointed. You're going to be like,
I mean, like, it's like, if we're getting into mushroom analogies, it's like we're all the mushrooms in this colony, and we wouldn't have been able to create this without like the collective. I mean, like, a lot of us are kind of wary to call ourselves like experts in anything, but it's like, yeah, like, we're really damn good at what we do. And so we want to gather our skills together and make a really beautiful product that is not just like a piece of art, but it's also like interactive. It has the story, it has all these different other elements to it. And then if you want to back the Kickstarter, then it's like, cool, like, your book can come with a tote bag and a pin and all these extra goodies and like a foil bookmark and these things that kind of immerse you a little bit more bit by bit in the entire experience that we've created.
Wow, that is amazing. I know we're winding down, but I do have a specific question for Eleni, because first of all, Eleni, huge congratulations on debuting in this anthology. I think we all remember for Frasier and Adrian and I what it's like when that first piece of work comes out. There's nothing like it. It's like you gave birth. It is just, so congratulations. So happy for you. How are you feeling about, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have, this published piece of work in this beautiful, like, what a way to start your writing career.
All right. It's like the bar is so high, it's gonna go out so well. I'm never gonna do anything else ever again. It's like one and done. It's like right there. But well, I'm in denial. That's how it goes. I'm not thinking about it. I'm like, I'm working my hardest to make it like look good and be good for everyone else, and to be helpful to these two guys that are running ahead so much, because I have a lot of free time at the moment. So I'm trying to be helpful in work. And then whenever I write and I have a story and I reread it, I'm like, it's kind of good. I kind of like this. And then it clicks that a lot of other people are going to read. I'm like, don't think about it. Back to work.
Well, was this a case, Eleni, of right place, right time? Like, I mean, I'm sure you could have published something before. You could have waited to publish something later. Was this just a case of best opportunity? I get to do it with my peeps. It's an amazing book. Like, what was the why now? Why Book of Spores?
Well, like I said at the start, I've always loved writing. I did the very cliche thing of being a very small child, cutting out pieces of paper, drawing lines on it, and writing stories. And it's always been a part of me, but I've never had a fully formed story in my head for it. Even though I've written a bunch of different things and I've started a bunch of different things, and maybe one day they might be something. I hope so, because they're fun characters that I've been writing with a long time. But yeah, with the anthology, we're like, okay, short stories, that could be fun. I didn't used to write anything like very long, so I said, well, it might be down my alley. They say start small, and what better time to do it when hidden by all of these other people? Then suddenly I was sort of
Frame story is the perfect intro.
And then I was sort of very gently being like, hey, by the way, the frame is a very nice idea. And everyone else, cool, you write it. It's like,
I know. Let me give you the goss, right? Because I promised this earlier, right?
Did you just say, let me give you the goss?
Yeah. This is the goss,
the
right?
gossip.
What happened, right? Is that Eleni saw
Frasier, you're like a middle-aged housewife just throwing gossip.
Yeah.
He's missing the
Just need like a drink, right?
You need a martini, dude.
So what happened is that Eleni saw the title Book of Spores, and she thought everyone's going to think that's like an encyclopedia on mushrooms. I need to come on board in order to save this project, and then so she's doing it altruistically from the.
Oh my gosh.
That's not true. Like I did not think I need
partially
to say
true,
this.
but like
I did not love the title. Okay, fine.
It's not true,
But
but
it's a great story. It's a great story, though.
But Eleni, look at how it's paid off.
Exactly right.
You put my marketing magic on that shit, and it's gonna work.
I have
Don't
utter
you
faith.
worry.
That doubt left me very. But I would like to point out, I never said I need to fix this. That is who I am.
but it's a great story, though. You gotta love Frasier for the way he dramas it up.
There's
right?
a problem, but I don't have a solution.
Oh my god.
Fine, I'll try to help.
Oh my god.
Oh, you guys are awesome. I can just see, like I said, the love, the collaboration, just the joy probably that this project has been for all of you and all the authors. And I couldn't be happier for you. Can't wait to read it. Absolutely wishing you all the best success with the Kickstarter. I know it. You're going to fund and beyond. So that given just the people here in this chat and who you've told me is involved in terms of the authors and probably a bunch of people behind the scenes that I have no worries whatsoever that this is going to be an extremely successful anthology. And like I said, congratulations. I'm so happy for you all.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
I've been remiss. I got to make sure and update this video because I was remiss. I didn't put the link to the Kickstarter in there, but I absolutely will to make sure that people can.
You can go follow it, and basically you'll get notified when the anthology launches on Thursday. So. Go join all the other people that have followed this project. We'll be really appreciative.
1,000 and something people.
Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. Again, I can see it's already going to be successful. I do want to
also just thank you to everybody who's already done that. Because
we appreciate it.
The support that has been given to it already, even before it's launched, it means so much to every single one of us. So thank you so much. If you are one of those people, we love you loads.
We really do.
Okay.
We went into this so nonchalantly, like, if it funds, it funds. We hope for it. We worked hard. Let's hope it. And then a bunch of supporting. One day, we're like, okay, then, yay!
That is awesome news. That's awesome news. I do want to give an opportunity real quickly. Two things. Bear with me. First, I would like you to just give a quick rundown of, I'm so grateful you guys are here, but all the other kind of promo stuff you're doing, different channels, might be appearing on any other news that, in terms of boosting and talking about this project that you guys are going to do in the next little while. If you've done a cover reveal already, etc., where that is, where can we find that stuff?
Okay. Also, I just really want to quickly show this off. I got a tattoo on Thursday in honor of the anthology. And
What?
I already sent a picture to Frasier and Eleni, but it's I got a big mushroom bouquet on my chest.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. That is
So
awesome.
if you want to know how fucking dedicated we are to what we do,
You gotta hold
just
that
know
too.
that we are.
Adrian at the start is like, yeah, but it's in a non-sexual way, and then he reveals his chest to the
Very
internet. It's
slowly.
like, they should have been on OnlyFans, Adrian.
Yeah,
I am nothing if not a man of contradictions, Frasier.
It's like I'm only to pay tribute. I'll get myself my body.
Yeah.
tattooed.
I'm
wanna
only gonna
book
do
Frasier.
stuff on Kickstarter and OnlyFans from now on. You can go check out Mushroom Blues wherever books are sold. You can get it in paperback, hardcover, audiobook, ebook. You can look forward to a novella from me in early 2026 called A Murder Most Fungal. That's kind of like a tie-in in the same world as Mushroom Blues. And you can go check out SFF Addicts, like wherever you listen to podcasts, or if you want to watch it on Spotify and video or on YouTube. We just recently put out some interviews with like Jay Kristoff. Was a really, really fun conversation. We got some fun stuff lined up for the rest of the year and then early 2026 as well. So go check that out. Just us chatting with authors and hopefully helping you out with your writing and whatnot. And it's also on Patreon, so you can support SFF Addicts on Patreon. And if you want to hire me for a book design, just like hit me up. Go to my website.
Might be knocking on your door. Might be knocking on your door, my friend. Might be knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Might be knocking on your door.
Tattoo.
I mean, like Frasier's book is one that I designed.
Oh,
so it's
wow,
like I
that's
designed
amazing.
like the cover and like the entire interiors. So.
Yeah, if you want to see like just get an idea as to what Adrian can do, to make a book beautiful, just like pick up the paperback of Cage of Stars because it is absolutely stunning. I can't even it's just like he just works magic and it's just amazing.
Might be knocking on your door. Might be knocking on your door, my friend.
Joe Byrne wants to see my Fanfiatic tramp stamp.
Oh my God.
Joe, that one's just for the cons, man. That one's just for the cons.
that's Bernie. Bernie always wants a free peek for nothing, right? Like,
yeah, what are you gonna give me in return?
What are you giving up? What are you giving up, right? Like Joe's an awesome guy, a brilliant author. Love his Wistful Ascending series.
Tramp stamp for tramp stamp, Joe. Let's go.
You show me yours. Show me mine, eh?
Yeah. In terms of like the Book of Spores as well, like we're going to be doing other stuff to be able to share different things. We've got a bunch of like a book tour lined up with it, so we have like our official launch party on the 14th, right? On Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
3:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. GMT over in the UK, and then you can figure out the other time zones on your own because it's too complicated.
Yeah, and then we'll be doing we'll be on the Spotlight Indie channel on a week today on Sunday, chatting with H.L. Tinsley about the process
and Schweiting Sini as well.
And Schweiting, to talk about what it's like putting an anthology together in like a more technical way. And then we have a bunch of other stuff lined up. Like you've got different people appearing, different authors appearing.
Bunch of different authors are going to be taking part in different interviews. So,
but you'll see a list of that all on the Kickstarter. So if you're interested in catching up on it and everything like that, then once the Kickstarter goes live, just check that out. So
JCF, Montreal, baby, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Tramp stamps, Montreal, 2027.
Matching tramp stamps for Montreal.
I think that should be a panel, right? Like
tramp stamps and science fiction and fantasy.
SFF, right?
I mean, I have done. It was at the last Worldcon in Seattle. I did a panel on tattoos and SFF, and now I'll just get more and more specific. Be like tramp stamps and SFF.
Yeah.
So
now,
Give the people
Frasier,
what they want.
You're too modest. We're not letting you get away. Please tell the peeps about your books, where you got out, where we can buy your stuff. Since everybody else seems to have your own book except for you.
I'm just gonna aggressively shake them.
Come on.
So you can find me on FrasierArmitage.com. You can find me at Frasier Armitage on all of the socials. All of my books are available to buy, everything from Yestermorrow, New Yesterday, Time's Ellipse, Stitch Between Worlds, Cage of Stars, all of those. You'll see me on the Spotlight Indie YouTube channel. Spotlightindie.co.uk is the website for that. Spotlight Indie is I don't even know how to describe it. It's basically just an awesome space for indie creatives. And if you are an indie writer, it's kind of like the best place you can be on the internet, because it just gives you a community that you can tap into to be able to keep going and keep learning and, you know, get support you need. So yeah, Spotlight Indie, you can find me on there as well. And there's a lot of awesome people there. I don't think we have enough people to do one of these like anthologies for yet, like with Fanfi Addict, but you know, we'll see how it grows.
One day, man. One day.
One day. No, I can definitely testify that Spotlight is awesome. I can definitely testify, having been the privilege of appearing and speaking to Frasier and some of the crew at Spotlight Indie is awesome. Please go check that out. Eleni, you?
Well, you can find me reviewing at fanfiaddict.com and beforeweblog.com. And also on the different socials, I am on Blue Sky, Eleni Argyró with a GY. And on Instagram, at The Words We Read, every word with an underscore. And yeah, that's where I talk books, where I share shenanigans again, I guess, the family stuff. But
I mean, we started off with shenanigans and now we're ending with shenanigans.
Exactly. It's one of my favorite English words, so I need to find excuses to use it as often as possible.
And I apologize, Eleni, my investigative skills are horrible. I was looking to tag you on Instagram for the post. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this again. It's like I messed up on the Blue Sky post. I didn't tag her, and now I go to Instagram. I'm like, I gotta where is she? Like, I tried to find a website. And I'm like, oh, okay.
She's encrypted. She exists.
Now I gotta track you down on Instagram and follow you. Thanks for giving that up. So now
I follow you. You can find me easily.
Okay, well, I will make sure that I tag you properly next time. That's my ineptitude, not yours. So, but please follow Eleni. And once again, huge congratulations on your debut.
Buddy.
And you know,
you're thanking Eleni specifically.
Yeah.
I'll take back my thank you.
Yeah, you and Frasier, you've already debuted. Okay, you don't get that to debut.
Fuck you guys. It's like you already had that.
All right, so
let me have my moment.
Let her have her moment.
Sorry.
But this has been an absolute blast. Again, congratulations. Thank you so much for coming. Good luck with the entire project, the Kickstarter, everything else. I know it's gonna be fabulous. Can't wait to read it. Quickly, on Peel Start, Dragon Kingdom Saga is the channel. Dragon Kingdom Saga is the series. PeelStart.com is where you find any of the books. 5 books out in the Dragon Kingdom Saga right now. 6th book entitled Black Dragon Unread, coming in the spring of 2026, so in a couple months. And speaking of anthologies, my fantasy horror story, Forest Dark, in the anthology Shippers of Worlds 5. Brilliant authors in that anthology, like MJ, Kuhn, etc. My stories in the middle. Don't just read for my story. Please, that's another anthology that's really worth checking out. You know, if you want to give some love, and if you know, I know spooky season is kind of horror, but if you want to check out some fantasy horror, there's a couple of great fantasy horror stories in there, and mine I think is, you know, maybe check that out. Especially if you don't want to read my chonky books and you want to kind of, you know, wean your way in slowly and read something from me that's a bit shorter. So once again, this has been a special Kickstarter launch party for the Book of Spores. I mean, I know it's small, but you can see that beautiful cover up there on the screen. It is amazing. Check out these 3 incredible creatives, everything to do with the bookish space, because they are fabulous, and I look up to them, admire them very much. I've learned a lot from them individually myself. So, check them all out. Back that Kickstarter. It's going to be worth it. You're going to have a beautiful book and a lot more that goes with that. So please check that out.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, PL.
Thanks again for coming. And once again, everyone who came by in the chat and everyone who's on Team Replay, thank you so much. You're what makes this type of long-form content fantastic. Long live long-form content. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not fabulous, because I get to hang out with people like this for an hour. So that's the highlight of my day. So thanks very much, everyone. And we'll see you next time.